अभी मैच शुरू हो रहा है ऑस्ट्रेलिया वुमेन वर्सेस न्यूजीलैंड वुमेन का। ये तीसरा T20 मैच है। तो जल्दी से वीडियो को शेयर करें और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जुड़ें। अभी 9:30 मैच है, वो शुरू हो रहा है। तो बहुत ही अच्छा मैच है। आज तीसरा मैच। तो जल्दी से वीडियो को शेयर करें। साढ़े 9 बजे मैच है, वो शुरू हो जाएगा। ऑस्ट्रेलिया वुमेन वर्सेस न्यूजीलैंड वुमेन। अभी कुछ ही मिनटों में मैच है, वो शुरू हो जाएगा। तो जितना जल्दी हो सके वीडियो को शेयर करें। जल्दी वीडियो शेयर करें, जितना जल्दी हो सके उतना जल्दी वीडियो को शेयर करें ताकि सभी लाइव में जुड़ सकें। अभी मैच है, वो शुरू होने ही वाला है। तो जल्दी से वीडियो को शेयर कर दें और आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया वुमेन वर्सेस न्यूजीलैंड वुमेन का मैच है, वो लाइव देख सकते हैं। तो जितना जल्दी हो सके उतना जल्दी अभी लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग में आप जुड़ जाएं। जल्दी करें और लाइव में जुड़ जाएं। अभी मैच है, वो शुरू होने ही वाला है। लगभग 9:15 के करीब है वो मैच शुरू हो जाता है और लाइव आपको अभी देखने को मिलेगा बस कुछ ही मिनटों में। तो बहुत ही अच्छा मैच होगा ऑस्ट्रेलिया वुमेन वर्सेस न्यूजीलैंड वुमेन का क्रिकेट मैच। ये वुमेन्स इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट मैच है। तो देखते हैं इसमें किसकी हार होगी किसकी जीत होगी, वो आपके सामने होगी। तो जितना जल्दी हो सके जल्दी से लाइव आ जाएं। जल्दी से वीडियो को शेयर कर दें। अभी 9:15 मैच शुरू होगा। तो जल्दी से अभी मैच शुरू होने में कुछ समय बाकी है। अभी मैच शुरू होने में कुछ समय बाकी है, तो जल्दी से जब तक मैच शुरू हो तब तक आप लाइव में जुड़ जाएं। लाइव में जुड़ने का आपको यही फ़ायदा होगा कि आप मैच शुरू से लेकर अंत तक देख पाएंगे। जब आप शुरू से नहीं देख पाएंगे तो आपको पता कैसे चलेगा। तो वीडियो को जल्दी से शेयर कर दें। शेयर वीडियो। मैच है वो कुछ ही सेकंडों में, कुछ ही मिनटों में शुरू हो रहा है। तो जल्दी से लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग में जुड़ जाएं, जल्दी से।
Flipped off her toes superbly. Great timing.
Hit the deck, Soph.
That's superbly played.
Well, the other thing that's interesting is Dodd is chasing the ball there to the boundary, and she is actually down as 12th. So who is off the field? We'll have to find that out, because is that impacting on decisions made with the ball at the moment?
That's a good point. Got the most experienced players, but being hammered by Healy at the moment. She is just ready to launch. Well, Bates do. Into the gap, and a couple of bounces over the rope. Inside out. She is showing all the strokes in this over. Oh, beautifully played. This has become a nightmare for Susie Bates.
And then no ball, it's continuing.
Oh, it's
continuing, isn't it?
She stays alive and keeps the strike, and then hammers over the top, down the ground.
जल्दी से वीडियो शेयर कर दें। ऑस्ट्रेलियन वुमेन वर्सेस न्यूजीलैंड वुमेन का मैच शुरू हो गया
It's a mile in the air and in big trouble.
This is where they bring in their opportunities, and this is exactly what has happened in this occasion. Bates, you definitely want someone like her under a high ball at AB Field. She's got really safe pair of hands there, and Healy, fantastic start, but gone for 33.
How easy was that?
Catch.
Gone. There's a big breakthrough, and it's Mooney. So Kerr gets a wicket, and that'll give her a lot of confidence, and suddenly New Zealand might be back in the game.
And this is a big wicket as well. Beth Mooney departs for 24 from 21. Australia now 2 for 64.
So a bit like Rachel Haynes there, who's just stepped across the wicket.
जल्दी से वीडियो शेयर कर दें भाई, अभी मैच जल्दी से शुरू होगा। ये तीसरा T20 मैच है ऑस्ट्रेलिया वुमेन वर्सेस न्यूजीलैंड वुमेन।
Sophie Devine in the post-match on Sunday was just a little bit narky. I think she's firing up now, and I think she'll pass that on to the team. You want to make sure you can control that energy, though, just to make sure that you can get everyone switched on for the key moments.
Hodgie, welcome to the team.
Howdy, Richo. Mel, yeah, I'm excited. I must admit, I'm here with the king of broadcasting and the princess of broadcasting.
Oh, please.
And I'd say the prince of athletics anyway, or stall, whichever way you want to call it. But I'm excited. First time out of the 5 kilometre radius for 3 months. So hopefully we get to see an awesome game of cricket here today.
Holly Furling's down on the boundary with us. Holly, welcome.
Thanks, guys. It's a beautiful day here in Brisbane at the moment. It's 24 degrees and there's a slight breeze, but mostly it's humid, so I think we're going to see a little bit of swing early. All in all, though, perfect day for cricket.
Oh, fantastic. 25 degrees, currently 24. We can see it's a little cloudy at the moment, so there might be some movement, Mel, early on.
Well, and this is why I hope it's an injury, which sounds really weird, isn't it? I don't want Rosemary Mayer to be injured, but I think she should be playing. I thought was brilliant Saturday and Sunday. She's actually been replaced, though, by Holly Huddleston. I get that in the sense of Huddleston's more a natural swinger of the ball, maybe with his humidity around. And also, congratulations to Jess Kerr, first match in Australia for New Zealand. I know Joe and Robbie, mum and dad, will be back home in Wellington watching in to see both their daughters pulling on the, what is it these days, the black and pink for New Zealand.
Right, so sisters. Jess has got the honour of getting us underway. Her 5th match, and she is bowling to 2 players who gave us a little glimpse on Sunday that they're just about ready.
Last year for New Zealand as the leading wicket taker, so she's full of confidence.
So Healy got off. to a fly on Sunday. She faces Kerr.
Just to figure out what this pitch was offering is a little bit too paced. Healy, as we mentioned, 33 off 17 was it on a Sunday and looked magnificent. Will she give herself a couple of deliveries to get in? No, let's just go straight away.
Going to miss again. Facing greatest player of the game at the moment. Strike rate up around 150. Won't hold back at all. Conditions look good, but it's the first time that they've opened the bowling from this end, which is usually into the breeze. Not sure whether it's a tactic they've worked out over the last couple of games.
Finally hits the middle of the bat.
They might want to try and control the momentum coming out of the innings too. They don't want Australia probably hitting with the wind to the shorter boundary for the last over. Try and hold them up a little bit. And that's where, Hodgie, you'd know more than most, that those little 1%ers are the thought of the game comes into play as well.
Yeah, they're absolutely critical. You know that economically your first over is generally going to be the best of the innings. And she's giving you every opportunity as well, pitching the ball up, see if there's any movement off the surface. It's a good start.
3 years older than Amelia, who has gone past her older sister and got all the headlines, hasn't she? She's been a revelation, Amelia Kerr.
Well, she had headlines, I think, she might have been about 11 when I first started seeing footage of her coming out bowling these leggies.
Yeah, it's one thing we're not often accustomed to when players do open the batting, and is that facing genuine in-swing. Megan Schutt the best at it, but usually you're used to the ball swinging away from the bat, and in T20s it just gives you that option of freedom to score on the offside. It's good cramping bowling.
Last time we've seen a maiden for the first of a T20 international? I can't think of one.
That's why we've got the Swamp. He is just going through. He's blowing dust off a whole lot of old history books trying to find out. Will it be a factor? Yes, it is. The perfect start for New Zealand. Australia, none for none after one.
Brilliant start there from Jess Kerr. There would have been nerves galore at the top of the mark. Got the first one to land in a good area and then just kept following it up against, as Brad Hodge says, one of the preeminent batters in world cricket at the moment.
Pitch holding up. One leg there, man.
Yeah, it's gone not too bad. I think like match 1 and match 2 had a little bit of moisture in it, but the Aussies did say that it was easier to bat on in match 2. Today, I'm expecting far more runs, and bowls might get a little bit out of those cracks, but I just think it's going to be an absolute road.
Absolute road. Well, at the moment, the Aussies are trying to get off the mark.
Holly Huddleston bowled exceptionally well in the practice match against Australia. You'll see that she'll try and keep it up. That'll be in swing to the left-hander.
डिस्क्रिप्शन में आपको लिंक दे दिया जाएगा, उसके माध्यम से आप टीम बनाकर जीत सकते हैं.
It's often not a bad idea when you give a couple of new players opportunity to get into the game early. Facing two legends of Australian cricket, it's a tough ask, but if you're going to do it, you might as well do it when they're on naught.
Yeah, completely. Everyone has a little bit of nerves when you first get out there, isn't it? And I think for New Zealand too, this is a nice little combination. You've got Jess Kerr, if we just speak about bowling to Healy as the right-hander who shapes it in, and then now Holly Huddleston shaping it away from the right-hander, so that constant adjustment.
दूसरे ओवर की एक बॉल हो चुकी है और मात्र एक रन अभी तक.
does it play on her mind that she's yet to get off the mark and that she's already soaked up 6 deliveries? Expect her to stay aggressive.
You know what I love, Mel, is when Holly's obviously up there as a fast bowler. You don't often get a fast bowler saying that it's not batting conditions. You know, it's always, oh, it's a good surface, should come on.
Go away, Holly's listening.
Well, that's like a curator too. It's always the perfect deck.
Perfect.
Yeah. Something in it for everyone. Go for a quick single to get off the mark.
एक रन लेने में कामयाब हुए.
And that's the part of the game you just want New Zealand to sharpen up. They weren't flashing the field on Saturday. They've bowled a maiden to start this game. They know that Healy's looking at wanting to get off mark. He just needed to squeeze a little bit more.
एक रन बहुत ही आसानी से ले लिया.
Well, that's a missed opportunity, that. And the longer you keep Alyssa on a low score, the better for your team, for as long as humanly possible.
That's nice and fine. It'll run away. So Mooney moves to 5, and she's having no troubles at all. I wouldn't mind that hat. Looks outstanding.
Well, it's a little gift. Just on the legs, angling down with the swing. Beth Mooney's not going to miss that too many times. Moving up towards 1,500 runs for the country in T20 internationals. It's a solid effort.
Yeah, she's a great player now, isn't she? Officially ranked the #1 T20 batter in the world now after an unbelievable World Cup. She deserves all the accolades, the hard work, and she seems so comfortable in her game. Just understands her strengths and weaknesses.
But this whole batting unit is just nicely balanced. It's cemented. Everyone knows their roles. Got a nice mixture of right-hand and left-handers, which I think is playing into Australia's benefit for sure. And on the flip side of that, when they bowl, the opposition doesn't quite have that flexibility.
Pinches another quick single. So the end of the over. 2 overs complete. Australia number 7.
कामयाब हो गए. 2 ओवर की समाप्ति.
So none for 7 after 2. 7 off that over of Huddleston. Jess Kerr
2 ओवर की समाप्ति
started
पर
in
7 रन.
style with a maiden.
दोनों ही टीमें अच्छी खेल रही है.
Australia number 7. Everyone's doing it tough in quarantine. This is how the Stark-Healy combination spent their quarantine.
अभी तीसरा ओवर
They're
शुरू
just
होगा.
priming themselves for the Steely Cup.
That's right.
And I'm not too sure who holds it at the moment. I think it might be
Lisa holds it,
Yeah.
Well, any sort of advantage is gold, isn't it? So if you can take that opportunity to get the putter nutted out.
And without
all
knowing,
that short game, isn't it?
you could sense that Mitch would be long off the team and wouldn't have the finesse.
Not the touch, you don't think?
No, I think that's where little Mitch will come into her own, I reckon. The fastest bowlers in the world.
तीसरे ओवर की पहली बॉल.
Leah Tahuhu into the attack.
Really good, girls. Come on, keep it on you.
The single taken off the last ball of the last over is where you just go, this is why the Australians are the world champions. They'd squeezed New Zealand, so the mid-wicket and cover was tight, as you can see here. But Beth Mooney, straight off the bat, called it straight away. I think most people in the world would have gone waiting, just to see if it got past that short cover. Not Beth Mooney, knew exactly where it was going.
Tahuhu into the attack, but I would have given the young girl another one with a new cherry just to see if there's any shape away from Beth Mooney.
Yeah.
Troubled Healy early. You're only going to come back for punishment. I would have been putting my hand up, give me another one, Skip.
Yep.
I'm a good chance here.
6th game of international cricket. She's game enough.
Australia having a maiden over, only their second for the entire year in T20 cricket.
Yep.
In the opening over, that is, and that'll run away for 4. Beautifully played. It's sort of amazing early on in an innings you get a sense of a player's touch and you sense that Beth's on today.
Yeah, and I think where their length they get wrong to Beth Mooney is they occasionally want to go short to her, but if you get it around that hip height, she's got the ability to stay on the front foot as she did on that occasion, or push back, depending on what the pitch is offering, and pull to the onside. So if you're going to go short to her,
again, professional running in the Australian unit, turning it over.
11
Dot
रन और
balls
तीसरी ओवर
in
की
the power.
चौथी बॉल शुरू होगी अभी
Straight away, good call. Pressure on the
बहुत
fielder
ही
and
अच्छा
home
प्रदर्शन
comfortably.
लेकिन नाकामयाब
I think she'd almost called that before it had hit the bat. That's how confident she is. I know exactly where I want to hit it. I know what pace. I know what angle.
अच्छी
That's
बॉलिंग
the
की है
length and height I'd like to see to Beth Mooney as well.
Sharp. So, Hodgie,
Surprised
what
she
does,
didn't have a dip at it, actually.
what does Healy do here? Does she try to hit her way out of this little early innings slump?
She only knows one way, and that's take the long handle. You don't strike at 150 for no reason. You don't putt it around.
There you go.
और ये बॉल को घुमा दिया
That's
है
exactly what she does. She clears the rope. Third umpire will have a look at it to make sure it does, but my eye it did. 3 overs, none for 18. So 11 off the over, double checking that it cleared the rope. Not a worry. So none for 18, off 3 for Australia.
तीन ओवर की समाप्ति
Australia none for 18 at the
18
moment. Disappointing news. Elise Perry has been ruled out of the internationals. Elise joins us now. Commiserations, Pez. We wish we could see you in action. Disappointing about the hamstring.
Oh, thanks, Vitro. Yeah, a little bit. It was always going to be a bit of a tight squeeze for this series, and we gave it a pretty good crack, and I just came up a little bit short, so that's okay. That's the way it goes, but it's certainly nice to be up in Brizzy and just to be around the group and to be training.
Pez, have you got your coaching hat on now? You've been training to try and get into the game. Do you now switch around and go, no, come on. You're having six more hours in the nets, hit more balls.
My underarming skill, because that's pretty horrific at the best of times, and it has been nice to just be around the group and sort of talk to very kind of thing. So yeah, it's been wonderful to be up here and just amongst it again after I think it was 6 months of not being a part of the group. So that's been really cool.
And Pez, how'd you tweak it? It's not the hamstring which has caused you a lot of drama.
Oh, here's a big one. Out. Devine breaks through. We'll come back to Elise in a moment. And Devine's got a big wicket here, and it's Beth Mooney.
She's brilliant. You look at the seam position here. This is almost the perfect delivery, and it has to be to get someone like Beth Mooney out. She's dragged her forward. She's found the outside edge, and Katie Martin does the rest. That is a big wicket for New Zealand. They've got to own this power play if they've got any chance of getting themselves on the scoreboard in this series. Finally, says Sophie Devine, Mooney goes for 11, and the Aussies are 1 for 20.
So first 2 deliveries in the over wides, and then the wicket of Mooney, just when we were saying how terrific she was seeing it early, and a big breakthrough. Pez, that's not ideal. You're meant to be on there making sure that we don't lose any wicket.
It's off right now.
Hodgie asked you about whether you just gave that hand.
चौथे ओवर की एक बॉल हो चुकी है
A little nick or just
20
didn't
रन
come up.
एक आउट
Yeah, no, I did. I sort of tweaked it.
about a week ago or so now, just doing some high speed running, which is part of the protocol to get back and on the park and make sure I was fit, and it was all going pretty well, and it was really pretty minor, but just put me back, and because of the time frame, with these games coming pretty thick and fast and the scheduling, it just didn't work out, which was a bit of a shame, but yeah, it's almost all good again now, and so it's been nice, as I said, just to be able to train and sort of ramp that up and hopefully in prep for the WBBL. I need to get off because I'm getting nervous.
Don't turn around.
Australia could be 4 down after this over.
Pez, what's impressed you so much?
Not mine.
What's impressed you so much about the group so far?
I think probably just the way that we've seamlessly got back into things. Like it has certainly been a unique period for everyone, and New Zealand as well, obviously. But the way the girls have just sort of picked up where we left off back in March, and really thrown themselves into the challenge of this series. And the performances again across the board. It's not just one person contributing. There's been some wonderful things with both the bat and ball. So I've loved that. I love the style of cricket that we've been playing, and I think made the most of what are pretty extraordinary circumstances, really.
And Pez, can you just talk us through the differences in hub life as it is compared to normal touring as you would go about your business?
Yeah, I suppose in some ways it hasn't been too different, just because we're normally doing a fair bit of stuff, whether we're training or meetings and that kind of thing. So I guess the biggest difference is just what's most important to many athletes, and that's eating. So like they sort of don't go out as much for meals, and I suppose not going to the shops and that kind of thing. You kind of end up going for a walk with people around the river, or we've just kind of been sitting in our common areas in the hotel, and that's been really nice, actually. I think we've all spent a lot of great quality time together, and in a lot of ways it hasn't been too disruptive, which has been really cool.
At least we've loved having you on the cans and having a chat to you. Rest up, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Elise Perrin, she only cost us 1 wicket throughout that time. Into the over. What an over it was. We'll review it all. 7 off the over and a wicket. It's 1 for 25. Oh, no drama in that over.
Well, I think Elise Perry's been enjoying the time up in Brisbane. She's got a bit of the tan on as well. Au natural. It's so disappointing that we don't have the opportunity to see the number 1 all-rounder in the world go about her business. Fingers crossed everything is on its way so she can play WBBL.
Australia 1 for 25, but Hodgie, it could have been 2. First ball for Meg Lanning and Amy Satterthwaite. Would love that over again.
And should have been, after all the experience that she has. That's a sitter, actually. And you can't let Meg Lanning off the hook averaging 50 in T20s. That's a disaster for New Zealand. But what an over. 2 wides to start with. Wicket, drop catch. Amazing.
She completely misjudged it. It wasn't just a hit the hands in and out sort of thing. It hit quite high on the forearm. And typically the Allan Border Field's a pretty good viewing ground, whether you're in the slips. Not that I was ever in the slips, that's for sure. But it's not a bad viewing ground for high catches, for catches in the inner circle. So not too sure what happened there for Amy Satterthwaite.
Normally just fantastic hands, so she's got a great reputation. Whereas Jess Kerr will not concede a run. And I've just mocked her. That will run away for 4. So this is where Lanning can loom large and really make New Zealand pay the price for that error.
Often what can happen is we see a really good back foot play. We know she's so strong, square of the wicket. Again, just need to get hold of those fielding opportunities. But when you have such a player like Meg Lanning or the greats, you often be surprised when they make an error and you miss that opportunity because you just don't think it's going to happen.
Not going to get that. So back-to-back boundaries for Lanning. Just kept running away.
It's an interesting field they've got here for Meg Lanning. I know Jess Kerr is going to get the ball shaping into the right-hander. But this is her wheelhouse, Meg Lanning. She's got nice touch. She can hit it fine. She can hit it forcefully backward of point. And it's completely different to Elisa Healy, who likes to hit forward of the wicket a lot more. So Jess Kerr is going to need a lot of support here from Sophie Devine just to get the right lines and the right field.
Well, Mel, you can see there's two back on the onside, one deep backward square and one mid-wicket. They're there for big shots. And throughout this whole innings, Kerr's presented the seam outside the off-stump every ball. And the only scoring opportunities have come through the offside, and there's only been two of them. Strange field. It's a bit of a negative field right now.
Yeah, I can't remember a team not having someone on the boundary or behind point for Meg Lanning because she is so strong through there. Regardless of the line, you're sort of bowling outside off.
What a sensational story Jess Kerr is. There's a lot of young boys and girls out there at the moment doing tough in this COVID life. She's an inspiration. She was diagnosed with Bell palsy when she was a young girl, and type 1 diabetes. Has put all that behind her to represent her country playing elite sport. An inspiration to everyone that you can overcome some huge difficulties.
Good pedigree too when you look at the family. Mum and dad both played rep cricket in New Zealand. Mum also played rep netball. Grandfather played test match cricket for New Zealand. Obviously, little sis has been in the squad for a number of years now.
It's a great story.
Good backyard cricket team.
Oh, been hard to score a run. Last ball of her over. Oh. So 9 off that over. 5 overs complete. Australia 1 for 34. For 34 off 5 at the moment. Partnership 14 off 11. Ollie Furling. A little bit of drama early on. Meg Lanning lucky to be there.
Yeah, very much so. They're giving her plenty of space, though, on the leg side, particularly for the last over, as well as when Devine was bowling as well. So I'm not too sure what their thinking is there, but there's plenty of runs on offer.
And gets through the gap and runs away for 4.
Once again, no protection. And as soon as it goes through here at Allan Border Field, we know it runs well. Not completely in control, yes, catchable height, all those sorts of things, but once it's through, that's just money into the back pocket, runs into the back pocket for Meg Lanning. She goes to 17 from 11.
Get back to Holly and give her the right of reply to Hodgie early on. Oh, she's playing with a bit of risk at the moment, is Meg Lanning. Holly, hopefully you can hear me. Did you hear Hodgie just said that, like a true bowler, it's always a batting wicket?
I did. In saying that, though, good areas, though, you take that. But, look, T20 is a batter's game, isn't it?
That's right, you show him. Don't be bullied by that bloke. Healy's been watching all this go on down the other end.
That's incredible. It's incredible, isn't it? Normally strikes at 141 on a power play. Absolutely struggling. And, New Zealand, I thought Sophie Devine was employing a one-over tactic from each bowler, but hey, when you're captain, you can change that.
Just on the captaincy, Mel, would there be some discussion about that? I mean, Sophie, Amy Satterthwaite, of course, back from maternity leave, Susie Bates. Was it a given that Sophie Devine would be the captain, or would Susie Bates wanted? I mean, she's...
No, it probably would have been more Amy Satterthwaite coming back in, and knowing Amy, she would have loved to have had the captaincy back as well.
Who's a more natural captain?
I think they're different types of captains, and I'm getting out of myself because I've requested this from Hawkeye too, just to show how good a delivery this was to get Beth Mooney out. It has to be, first and foremost, right line and length to drag her into the shot, and then to top it off, just got that minimal movement away to catch the outside edge. I think what it is also is that Sophie Devine is more a lead from the front, come with me type of captain. She's just out there with bat and ball, and she's got this aggression that everyone sort of gravitates to. Whereas an Amy Satterthwaite is more your quite quieter, you know, softer demeanour, but still gets the job done.
Into the Devine over, 8 off the over, 6 overs complete. Australia 1 for 42. Partnership 22 off 18 at the moment for Healy and Lanning. Beth Mooney, only batter dismissed so far. Court Martin bowled Devine for 11.
Partnership of 22, Meg Lanning with 19 of them. You don't usually see that too often with Healy at the other end.
So Meg Lanning's got off to a flyer at the moment, scoring very similar areas, whereas Alyssa Healy, a little conservative for her, or maybe just a lack of opportunity at the moment. She's been down the other end watching it all go on. Astrid Haynes ready to come in next.
Some good bowling too. That first over from Jess Kerr to Healy was absolutely bang on. We've spoken about this matchup on a number of occasions, and when we had Elise Villani in here, she's spoken about it. The matchup between Leah Tahuhu and Meg Lanning. We've spoken about they'll be targeting that top of off stump with just that fourth stump if you put another one next to it.
Well, it's critical. It's an important time for New Zealand. They've had a pretty good power play, actually. Healy hasn't got away. Meg Lanning's got a few to the boundary, but could have been stopped, actually. And bowlers have been on top. Only 1 wicket so far, but if you can just break a wicket just outside the power play, you can put the brakes on to this strong middle order for Australia.
Well, Tahuhu has nipped off Meg Lanning in the WBBL, took the top of her off stump on a couple of occasions, and this was from the first match, and she's nipped off on this occasion, but it's that channel that they're looking for, trying to get Meg Lanning to play from the crease a little bit, get her to be uncertain whether or not to come forward or back, and then they're aiming to get that bowled or caught behind.
And gone. So Healy had a long time where she didn't get to face a ball, and that's the day she'd like to forget it. Nothing going right for Healy, and Tahuhu gets the breakthrough.
Out of the middle of the bat, that's for sure. Got to position quickly, had a little bit of width to work with. Straight to Katie Perkins. She doesn't drop those, not when they go straight to her. And senior bowler and Leah Tahuhu gets another big wicket. Healy goes for 8. The Aussies 2 for 43. little bit of the Preachers playing in the background. That'll be Maitland Brown putting a request in to the DJ.
So Rachel Haynes comes out to join the skipper. They had a wonderful partnership on Sunday. They'll hope to just pick up where they left off there. They're unbeaten.
Rachel Haynes, what a superstar. What a good over this is from Tahuhu. Right on the money. It's what's needed when you're down and out 2-0. You need your leaders to step up, your most experienced. This is a real good performance here.
Tahuhu bowling to Haynes, two of the weirdest injuries I've ever seen in cricket, these two.
Oh, this is
we'll have to come back to it.
Nice ball of the over. You're going to tease it beautifully, Mel. Haynes gets into position quickly. And just a single. So just 2 off the over. 7 overs complete. 2 for 44. Australia 2 for 44 after 7. Talking unusual injuries to Tahuhu and Haynes. Tell us about it.
Well, Leah Tahuhu in one of the last match, the final match of the women's exhibition matches in the IPL in the last edition. She put on a partnership. I think it was a half century with Harmanpreet Kaur. Leah Tahuhu scored 2 runs of those, ran through, punched the air in celebration, dislocated her shoulder in the celebration. And was out for, I know we're laughing now, but she was out about 6 months, unfortunately.
What, celebrated equality too?
Absolutely gutted for her,
Threw her shoulder out.
Threw her shoulder out. She'd had shoulder issues before. And then Rachel Haynes in the WBBL last year was out for a couple of games for the Sydney Thunder. With an infected foot because she got between her cat and the neighbour's cat in a cat fight, got bitten and it got infected and had to sit out. 2 games, I think it was.
And that was just after, I reckon, Dane Van Niekerk.
The avocado.
Her finger through to try to cut an avocado. And she missed about 3 WBBL games because of that. It's pesky avocados. Not out. Well, you've got Mel Jones's social media platform. Send her through some more unusual injuries than those 3. I don't know if you can.
Club cricket,
you would have
surely.
had a paper cut. Would have been one of your severe injuries.
Come on. Tougher than that. We didn't even have physios when I played.
When you went on tour and the players outnumbered the support staff.
Yeah. They are some unusual injuries, though. The best one that I can only think of is that Pakistan fast bowler that celebrated the getting a wicket and did his back and
gone. Well, Amy held on to that one, and she's ecstatic. And New Zealand are on top at the moment. We've got the Aussies 3 for 46.
Didn't have to think about it. I think that's the most important thing sometimes. Rachel Haynes went for the pull shot. She'd been trying to sweep and thought, no, I'm going to change things up. Flat batted it straight to Amy Satterthwaite, and Amelia Kerr gets an early wicket against the Aussies. They've had her for most of this series, but she jumps in with the wicket of Haynes, and the Australians now 3 for 46.
So 3 for 46. 1 delivery to come. Amelia Kerr getting the big breakthrough of Haynes. Lash Gardner was a star on Saturday, the first of the games. She scored 61. She's seeing it beautifully. Didn't get to bat in the second. One to come and Amelia Kerr getting a big breakthrough with Haynes. It's going to round out the over with a single. So 8 overs, 3 for 47.
Haven't really put a foot wrong, bar the drop catch from Amy Satterthwaite, which could cost them with Meg Lanning still out there at the moment. And certainly areas that New Zealand's have picked up on since game 1 and 2. One more wicket and they really get into the all-rounders of Australia.
Eight overs complete. 3 for 47 at the moment. A rare failure in the partnership of Lanning and Haynes. So Kerr getting a big breakthrough there. And here's sister Jess. Erin, you're alongside Elisa Healy.
Yeah, certainly am, Richo. Elisa, it was disappointing not to see you get going today. The crowd, I'm sure, was all waiting for a performance like the last match. But walk us through what's happening with conditions out there, because it's not actually looking that easy to bat on.
Yeah, a little bit tricky, the wicket. Not quite coming on as well as it did probably the second game. The first game was a little indifferent as well, but we've just got to adapt to that. Probably glad that we're batting first, actually. Gives our bowling attack a really good look at it. But I thought they bowled pretty well up front. We just couldn't get away, but we've still got lots of batting to come up. We've got some big hitters coming, so I'm sure we'll be right.
Yeah, what kinds of lines and lengths were you finding difficult to navigate? I suppose that's something you'll take into your bowling innings next.
Pretty excellent spin bowling attack that's going to love those conditions out there as well. So, look, I think, once again, if we just get a total on the board, our bowlers will get the job done. So hopefully a few partnerships here and we can get ourselves to something half decent.
We appreciate your insight. Thanks so much for your time.
No worries.
Thanks so much, Erin Holland, down there with Elisa Healy. A rare failure. 8 off 14 today. Just couldn't get going. Lanning's had a life. She's 19 not out.
Yeah, I think the surface actually is pretty good. It's just that the New Zealanders have been switched on today. They've been on top of their game. They've attacked the top of off stump. They've given minimal room. Amelia Kerr, who just bowled the previous over, I thought her start was excellent. Got a great wrong and she's given the stumps away in the last couple and looks like she's zoned in back on those stumps. So great start for her. Jacob Oram there running the drinks. It's a big fella, Jake.
He's a massive man.
Huge. Never get it past him at Gully.
No.
Took some blinders there.
It's been the star of the show, though, so far, Jess Kerr. It's been brought into this attack. Would have been some nerves early. Has not put a foot wrong, apart from lack of third man. It's the only one downfall. But it's been spot on. We've seen some movement in the air. Just a little injection of youth, too, can often do wonders for a team when you're just struggling for a fraction of form.
Places it beautifully. Such a free swing of the bat. The 50's up for Australia and Ash Gardner is in really good touch at the moment.
This is what the Australians, but particularly Ash Gardner, did well in game 1 as well. We know that they're free-flowing and like to hit up and over the field, but on that sort of two-pace deck, they realised through the field, let's work on our placement a little bit more. It looks as if she's trying to bring that into her game at the start of this innings as well.
6 off the over, 1 to come. Then she repeats the dose, but there's a coverage there, so just a single. So 7 off the over, 3 for 54 off 9.
So with the wickets too, you just noticed that Meg Lanning's strike rate, that's been pegged back a bit. She's now almost a runner ball. 20 off 19 as Ash Gardner just gets into her innings.
Very talented young woman is Ashley Gardner, and Mel Jones, OAM, an art connoisseur, has purchased some of her artwork. Tell us about it.
I commissioned one, yes. I thought, well, after the fact that she was part of the big World Cup win at the MCG, got her to do one that signified the G on International Women's Day, Australia, India, the 86,174 people. I didn't get her to do all of those in dots,
That's right.
but it was close.
Right there.
It sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it looks like a quality piece of artwork, actually. You've got to love Ash Gardner. I love the way she plays her cricket. Looks like she enjoys it. And the stability, just nutted down that number 5 and just nailed it.
So for us mere mortals, Mel, why don't we just send Ash a message, do we? And just
You can buy mine if you want.
Oh, well, why are you selling it if you were so...
Well, I haven't told you how much.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, I don't know if you want to do that on air, but this will be interesting.
Do you need an order to Australia to get in there?
Yeah.
Does that help?
No, not for Ash, no.
No. Okay.
No airs and graces with her, which is the way I like it as well. It's fantastic. A lot of the players have put their COVID times to good use, and Ash most definitely.
Well, I've got her now at a busy time. Might be a bit harder at the moment. She's very busy. Calls through her skipper and says there's a single there.
This is quality bowling. Pressure on the two players, the crease. Stump to stump. As a spinner in T20, you just cannot give away the stump. You can see the pressure building on Meg Lanning. Now striking only 100. You can see Ash Gardner looks in good touch, using the feed, coming down the wicket. It's a player with good confidence.
Push in, come on!
They have to capitalise on the Kerr overs too, particularly with Lanning. She strikes at 125 against seam, but just over 100 against spin, so they know that works against her.
Ash Gardner is the most experienced 23-year-old in world cricket. She is remarkable how many games she's played already and what a record she's got. She's ripe old age of 23.
And performed in big games. Player of the match in the 2018 T20 World Cup final in Antigua.
Oh, can you believe that? Meg Lanning will not believe that. She trudges off and New Zealand are on top.
Well, it's an absolute shank. DeLong on that one. It's a full toss. Was there to be hit. Meg Lanning looking to go over the top. Didn't get anywhere near the middle of the bat. You can see the disappointment in the captain. It's been a good period for New Zealanders. The skipper's got to go. 21 to her name. Right on top. It's 4 for 57.
Don't think Meg will be keen to watch the replay of that now.
You don't watch replays of that, Richo? There's no need.
There's just no
Absolutely
need
at all. There often is, though, a need, and we talk about it at the club, state, Australian level, of practising hitting full tosses like this, though.
There's another young gun, Sophie Molyneux. So she joins her mate Ash Gardner out in the middle at the moment, and the Australians at 4 for 57 at the halfway mark really got to put some sort of a partnership together and start to accelerate. And she has certainly got plenty of that. She is in good touch, Ash Gardner.
Oh, that's a blistering shot, short and wide. Ash Gardner in good touch, just punishes it. Absolutely laced that. Beautiful shot, one bounce over the rope. Make it 2.
Wasn't much difference, the line and length, from what Healy went out to, whereas Ash Gardner, low hands, up and over, just clear the field.
Yeah, it's just a different mindset, isn't it? And when you're flowing as a batter, just wasn't working for Lisa Healy today. She was starved to strike, couldn't get any momentum. Ash Gardner's walked straight to the crease, found the middle of the bat, played a lovely cover drive, used her feet to the spinners. Just mindset, that's all it is.
Australia lost 3 for 15. So looking to bounce back.
You would have been in that situation at some stage in a T20, Hodgie. How easy is it to shift that mindset?
It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's absolutely hard. And all you're doing when you're under enormous pressure under your strike rate is you just keep staring at the scoreboard, and you see that gap, and you think more of the end result, not the process. You think, I need a boundary, I've got to find a 6. And you forget about just watching the ball and hitting the ball.
Continues to be aggressive. Didn't get it right out of the middle there, but will take the 4.
Not a natural shot for Ash Gardner. We've spoken about how fast bowlers around the world will target this for her. You can see a little bit of eyes off the ball, head falling back, a little bit of hoping that she gets enough on it to find the boundary. She does on this occasion.
That's a good bumper, right on the money. Just think if it had been a plan thought, maybe the fine leg could have gone a fraction finer. Just a little bit of communication in the middle from the New Zealanders.
Oh, here's the big top edge. And she is in trouble, but safe. Oh, she's living dangerously at the moment. Head rocks back. She's striking at 150, but got away with 1.
And I'm rapt to see Leah Tahuhu follow it up. So often in T20 cricket, players are thinking, right, well, I've got the short ball, so I'm expecting now everything to be full for the rest of the over. But she's got this right, Leah Tahuhu, caught an absolute peach from Sophie Devine to get Beth Mooney caught behind.
And just what you like, Meg makes her way across. She puts the headphones on. I asked her about her first delivery where she got dropped. Hodgie asked her about a howler. She goes, can you please